So we'll just sit cross-legged, and then if you need to sit like more Japanese style, you're welcome to, just sit comfortably. And then here, just like relax the shoulders, and then also relaxing the stomach. Put a timer on. And then here, just take one normal breath. And then just relax the shoulders a little more. If you've got any tension in the stomach, just let that go also. And then just check how you're feeling. And then checking also how your body's feeling. And then taking nice long breaths next. So we're going to inhale through the nose and exhale through the nose about 10 times. So I'll let you just sort of guide your way from 10 to the 1 breath. So starting now, so inhaling through the nose. And then exhaling. And I'll let you go at your own pace. About 3 more breaths here. We're about halfway here, so 5 more breaths to go. Then if you've got any discomforts in the body, just sort of be aware of that. And depending on how you're feeling, how your mood is, this is your time just to let yourself feel however you're feeling. And last 2 final breaths here. And then final breath. And next we're going to bring your right hand just up to your heart, and then your left hand just up to your stomach. And then here we're just going to take 5 breaths, and here is the inhale. And then you're going to exhale here again, and you're just going to feel that breath in your body. Then another 4 deep breaths here. It's almost like kind of preparing and kind of meditating. And 2 final breaths. And then bringing both hands back down on top of your knees. You don't have to have them up or down, just see how you feel, whichever ways your palms face. And then here, just let yourself be silent, come back to your normal breath. So it's just a bit of breathing. Then we'll just add some affirmations. So as you inhale, repeat to yourself, I am good enough. And as you exhale, just let go of the thought that's fighting what you've just said, anything that's negative coming up. And your next breath, we're going to say, where I am, what I've accomplished is good enough. Plans, what you have, what you want in the future. What I want in the future, my plans are good enough. So that's kind of like the theme for the affirmation for today's lesson is I am good enough. And we're going to go a little bit deeper. On your next inhale, you're going to add, I trust myself. And then here, if you've got any sort of encouraging word you want to say to yourself, you can also use that, but you can also choose any of the ones I've just said. So I'll just repeat them again. Sometimes your mind is racing and you're thinking about what you just thought, so I'll go through it again. So just breathing here normally. I am good enough. What I've accomplished is good enough. My plans are good enough. I am good enough. I trust myself. And finally, rounding back again. I am enough. And if you don't like any of those, you can of course use your own one. Just something that's encouraging, something that makes you really feel more confident, that gives you a little fuzzy feeling. Hopefully you're feeling that from all the breathing. And that just kind of roots you back into the present moment. Kind of lights up that little flame in you. So taking one last breath here. And then exhale. So it's about like a 10 so minute meditation. And then now we'll just slowly get moving. So we're just going to ease into moving slowly, so gently opening the eyes, depending on how bright it is where you are. And then we're just going to bring both knees out in front of us. We're going to just do a gentle sort of warm up. So here we're just going to bring both feet out. And then here just like shake the feet and shake your hands. Just like, yeah, just any tension that you've got from like sitting down, just let it go. And then what we're going to do is kind of work on the spine. So here, you're just going to, bring your feet back in. And then here, you're just going to bring both hands out to the side. We're just kind of do like a sort of flowy movement just to keep breathing and keep moving. So we're going to inhale, hands up to the sky. If your breath is shorter, don't worry about it. Just breathe as it feels comfortable and exhale, hands back down by your side. And do that 3 more times. Inhaling, hands up. And then exhale, hands back down in front of your heart. And then inhaling, hands up. And exhale, hands back down. And then one more, inhaling, hands up. And then exhale, hands back down by your side. And then here, both hands in front of your chest, and we're going to repeat your own affirmation, whether it's I am enough, whichever you've chosen. And then we're going to bring the right hand, so it's going to be the opposite of what I'm doing. So right hand up to your left knee, and then the left hand's going to be behind you. And then here, just kind of twisting, just gently, depending how bendy you're feeling this morning. And then we're going to inhale back to center. And then you're going to exhale to the other side. And then inhaling back to center. Next, you're going to exhale, folding the hands forwards. You're just going to bend yourself forwards, kind of seated forward fold. Take another breath here. And then inhaling, hands up to the sky. And then we're going to bring both hands up just behind your bum. And you're going to bring your elbows in, you're going to bring the chest out towards the screen, towards me. And then you're kind of bending backwards the spine, and then you're going to look wherever's the most comfortable for your neck. So if you slept funny on your neck, stay as high as you need to. If you're okay, you can exhale, look as far as you need to. And then you're going to come back as you inhale, back to the center. Make your spine back to straight. And then here we're just going to bring both hands out to the side. You bring your right hand to your left ear. And then here, you kind of want to stay straight, but then your neck, so your spine is sort of up, but your neck is sort of bent to the right. And then here, from where you are, you're going to kind of push a little bit forward. So it doesn't have to be like super forward, but from being to the side, you're going to look, yeah, that's it, a little bit forward. So you should really feel it in the side. And then if you want it a little bit stronger, you can bring your hand a little further out. If this is too strong, bring your hand a little bit further in. You'll still feel it either ways. And then bring both hands behind, above that sort of crown area of your head, and then you're going to elbows in, so press your head down, kind of rounding your back, elbows in. And then we're going to do that on the other side. So leave that left hand on top of your head, you're going to crawl it up to your right ear, right hand down, and then you're going to go to the side, so sort of sideways, so chest towards me, neck down. Maybe here you'll find that one side of your neck is a little bit more stiff than the other. That's fine. If you can't really feel anything, don't worry, you don't have to push any harder. And then you're going to exhale, point down. And then you're going to exhale, bringing both hands back down by your side. We're kind of doing cactus arms. We're going to open up the shoulders. So you're going to inhale, hands up, and then you're going to like cactus the arms. And then you're going to bring the elbows back. That's it. So then here, if you had like a little knot in between your shoulder blades, it would like be there. That's it. And then you're going to exhale, kind of bringing the elbows together. So kind of doing the opposite. I'm going to do that 2 more times. So inhaling, elbows out. And then exhale, elbows in. So just a bit of a warm up, and then inhaling, elbows out. And then exhale, hands back down by your side. Give yourself a quick shoulder shrug. And then next we're just going to open up the hips a little bit before we get going. So we're going to bring both feet out in front again. And then you bring the right foot in towards your sort of shoulder. And then you're going to bring your hand up to your foot. So here, if you're like super flexible, you can kind of bring both hands in. But otherwise, just hold your leg. So we're going to rock the baby. So you're going to inhale, coming in. And then you're going to exhale, looking behind. So just nice and gentle, nothing too crazy. And I'm going to inhale again, coming back in. We'll do that 3 times. And then as you exhale, we're going to look behind. And then inhaling in again. And then final one, exhale behind. And then inhale back in. And then you're going to leave the foot there, shake it out quickly. And then you bring the left leg in. And then bring the foot in. And then you're going to inhale in here. So if you've done any like leg intensive sort of workouts, you should feel it a little bit, but in a nice way. And then exhale behind, and inhaling in, and then exhale behind, and then inhaling back in, and then just let go of that foot. Just give it a quick like wiggle. And next we're going to do sort of the hands. So what we're going to do here is bring both knees in underneath, and we're going to stretch the toes as we do the wrist. So tuck in the toes in, so make sure all the toes are tucked in, and we're going to sit sort of Japanese style. Woo. And then here you're going to feel it a little bit in your feet, so we'll distract you with your hands. So here, let's just bring both hands in, and here we're just going to do a little like roll. So just pay attention to which way you're going. I'm going right, so clockwise. Oh, and any cracks or anything, as long as they don't hurt, that's fine. And then if they do, obviously just back away, and then inhaling the other way, so anti-clockwise. And then final one here. And then you can finally let go of those toes. You can bring both hands out, and here what we're going to do is kind of press your, so you're going to kind of press, so it's what you want to do in down dog too, press on the fingertip and the thumb, and you're going to kind of press forward. So what that will do is put the pressure more on the sort of like here, don't know what that's called, the palm of your hand, and then you're going to bring yourself forward. So instead of sort of pressing on the wrists, you're sort of pressing more on the sort of the fingertip. That's it. So lifting the wrists a little bit, so you should really feel it there. And then you can make them flat. And then we're going to sort of press both shoulders to the right, and then both shoulders to the left. And then we're going to sort of press back, and then press forwards again. Very nice. And then bring yourself back. Just sort of shake the wrists. You don't have to be on your toes anymore. Just really shake them out, loosen them out. And then what we're going to do finally, this one's quite nice. You can always do this on the toilet actually. So you can bring both hands out in front of you, and then you kind of gupa. So kind of knuckle together, and then exhale. But you don't even have to do it, we'll do it quite quickly. So here you should really feel, what you'll feel is kind of like here, this part of your hand and your wrists. Because our wrists do a lot for us, so gotta take care of them. So let's do 5 more. You can do them as slowly or as quickly as you want. It's actually quite hard to do fast. And then 1 more. And then here just sort of stay, sort of hands like jazz hands. And then let that go. So now we should have nicely stretched wrists. So we're going to bring both hands underneath this time. So wrist underneath shoulders, kind of like you would be in down dog, and then both knees just underneath the hip joint. And then here, maybe I'll point this way so you can kind of see me. Whoop. And then we're going to bring the spine sort of down, so stomach down, bum up, and then you're going to bring yourself up, like the head up. So this is cow, and you're going to exhale into cat. So if you sit a lot, this is always a really nice one to do. So you're going to inhale back up. That's it. And then exhale back down. Let that neck sort of relax as well. And then inhaling back up. And exhale back down. Inhaling back up. And then exhale back down. And then here we're just going to stay in neutral. So here's actually quite nice. The nice thing about Zoom, other than the fact that I can see everybody and your names, is to see like how your spine is doing. Can you kind of see like your spine? Can you find that, what I tend to do is kind of press my bum up, which kind of like sort of presses on here, which weakens like my glutes and everything. Or are you quite stable? Just kind of noticing what your body's doing. It's always nice. It's kind of a nice thing about the visual aspect. So next what we're going to do is Nina's favourite pose. I'm going to press on the fingertip and the thumb. And we're going to tuck the toes like we did earlier, but this time you're going to bring the bum up. And then here, you're going to press the shoulders sort of more down. And what's going to happen here is either your heels are either flying a little bit, that's not a problem. If they are, just bend the knees. And this will really help to kind of, instead of your shoulders being rounded, it'll just help to like elongate the entire body. And I'll just give you a quick check. We'll stay here for about 5 breaths. Nice. Nice, nice. So Kelly, you probably want to put your feet in a little bit, like feet hip width apart. So, oh no, like stay where you were, sorry. But you want to bring the feet like the width like in a little bit. That's it. Yeah, how's that feel? Hope that feels a bit better. Then you might want to bring the feet a little further back if once you've done that actually. Yeah, nice. How's it going, Nina? You could probably bend the knees more. Yeah, and then bring your chest like further down towards the mat. Yeah, that's it. It'll feel weird. And then here what we're going to do is sort of bicycle the legs. So you just kind of go left and kind of wiggle the bum as well. This is a bit of a new one. And then let's do about 4, kind of freestyling here. And then final one. And then back into down dog and see how your legs are doing. This is literally the most like painful pose to do first thing in the morning if you're stiff. Because it's not only like really strengthening your body, it's also trying to like stretch out the whole body. So what we're going to do here is press on the palms of your hands. You're going to sort of get on your tippy toes. You're going to inhale into a plank. You're going to bring the knees down, feet untuck. You're going to inhale into a sort of big cobra. But you're going to tuck your butt cheeks like nice and strong, sort of clenching the glutes just to protect the lower back. You're going to tuck the toes and we're going to get back into down dog. So we'll do that 4 more times. So inhaling. So if you can either go from straight to plank, bring the knees down, feet down, clench the glutes, and then chest open, looking forwards. Once you, yep, and then tuck the toes back in, and then back down. So 2 more. So inhaling, back to plank, knees down, toes down, tucking, yeah, the spine down. Yeah, that's it. And then tuck the toes, exhale, back into down dog. And then final one, we're going to inhale, knees down, untuck the toes, inhaling, looking up. And then finally we're going to tuck the toes, and then we're going to just sort of get the bum down and get into child's pose and really stretch the lower back. So both hands in front, kind of pressing the hands a bit like a zombie forwards, and then bringing your forehead down. I'll just check your child's pose. So in this one, is the forehead sort of touching the mat? If it's not, don't worry about it. I'm just going to repeat that affirmation again, whichever you chose. And, well, the main one was I am enough. 2 more breaths here. And to be honest, I struggle with that one because it's like, oh, but I could do this, or I could do that. But it's always nice to just realize that, you know, it's good, it's all good. I am enough. Final breath, and then pressing down the palms. You're going to bring yourself back into that tabletop position. And then here you're going to bring your toes in. You're going to get briefly into down dog. So here, depending on your practice, you can hop the feet towards your hands, walk them, whichever's better for you. And then we're going to inhale. We're going to slowly get up, up, up. So here you always see yoga teachers like vertebrae by vertebrae. So you just want to come up slowly, kind of like a zombie. And then you're going to bring both hands by your side. And then just shrug the shoulders. And then bring your both hands out to your side. So the feet are kind of like they were in down dog, so sort of hip width apart, so just underneath the hip joint. Hands by your side, and here you're just really into mountain pose. So that's always really nice. And just see here where your feet are sort of like, which corner of your foot you're sort of pressing on. And you've all got mats, so at least that feels nice. It's not like a really heavy, hard floor. And then we're going to inhale, hands up to the side. So I'm going to start with half Sun Salutations, just because I really like them. And then inhale, hands up. And then exhale, you're going to fold forward. So here, you can totally bend the knees, because what you really want is to have the stomach kind of touching the thighs. And then you're going to exhale, forward fold. This is such a simple pose, but I find it incredibly difficult. Maybe one day my legs will be straight, but who knows. Hands to shins, I'm going to inhale, looking forwards. And then we're going to exhale back down, back into forward fold. So the goal here is to have your stomach touching the thighs. And then we're going to inhale, hands up above you. And then exhale, hands back down by your side. And then inhaling, hands up to the sky. And exhale, I'm going to forward fold. I'll just show you bending the knees. Relax the head. And then we're going to inhale, hands to shins. If you want to go a little further, you can always bring your hands up to the mat, but hands to shins is always really nice. And then exhale, back down. Then we're going to inhale all the way back up. Then we're going to exhale, hands back down by your side. Very nice. So next we're going to move a little more. So you're going to inhale, hands up above you. Just make sure you've got space for your arms, and then you're going to exhale, forward fold. And then hands to shins or hand on the mat, looking forwards. So your bum's kind of pointing up, your chest is pointing down, you can bend the knees. And then you're going to exhale, and here you're going to bring the hands down, but what you're going to do is bring the left leg back. So we're going to focus on the hips now. So left knee down, untuck the back foot, get into your low lunge. That's it, but here just make sure where your hips are. If they're more sideways, just kind of straighten them up forwards, and then hands up by your side. You're going to inhale, hands up above you. And then you're going to exhale, cartwheel those hands down. Next, what you're going to do is a weird pose. So right foot back, knees down, chest down, and then chin down. So it's exactly as I said. Pressing the palms of your hands, you're going to inhale. So you can get into an up dog. So up dog is pressing the feet down, knees up. But here you want to clench the glutes, so you can get nice and low in Cobra. Totally up to you which one feels better, but make sure your shoulders are down. And then you're going to press the palms, toes tucked in, straight into downward facing dog. And anytime you just like, no more down dog, you know, because sometimes you are tired and that's fine. Just, you can always get into a child's pose. And then here, the right foot was forward, so we're going to bring the left foot back this time. And then left foot's going to come forwards. And then we're going to bring the right knee down, untuck the right foot. You're going to inhale and then check your hips, point them forwards, inhaling up. And then next you're going to exhale, bring the hands forwards, and then I'm going to bring the right foot forward. If you need to use your hand to kind of drag it forward, you can. And then you're going to inhale. You don't have to straighten the legs, but they're kind of straight-ish, and then looking forward. Then exhale, back down. And then you're going to come all the way up, not too fast, don't want you to pass out and it's getting warmer. And then hands up above you, and then exhale, hands back down by your side. So anytime, if you come up from low to up, sometimes I do get a bit dizzy, so just watch out. So hands back down by your side, we'll do that again. So inhaling, hands up to the sky. I'm going to exhale forwards. And then hands to shins, you're going to look forward. Nice, and then exhale back down. So this time the left leg's going back, low lunge, untuck the foot. Just sort of place the knee so it's your foot so it's your knees comfortable. Both hands up towards the sky. So here I'm like sideways with my hips, point forwards towards the front of the mat. And then exhale, hands back down by your side. Right foot back, knees and your chest and your chin point down on the mat. You're going to press the hands here, so either you're going to get into Cobra Pose, so elbows in, shoulders down, looking forwards, but don't forget your glutes. And then otherwise you can get into up dog, tuck the toes in wherever you are, and then exhale straight into down dog. You can bend the knees here still, and just placing the hands and feet just kind of where it feels comfortable. So remember what we did earlier with the wrist stretch, so pressing the fingertip, the index finger, and pressing on the thumb, and that will kind of ease off on the wrists for you. So next we're going to bring the right foot back, no, I think it's the left foot, sorry, left foot back, left foot forward, right knee down, untuck the foot, and you're going to come up into your low lunge. Check your hips, pointing them forward, inhaling, hands up above you. Then you're going to exhale, hands in front of you. The right foot, knee is going to come forward, so you can use your hand if you need to. Whoop. And then inhaling, hands to shins, looking forward. And then exhale back down. Let it go. I'm going to slowly come all the way up. Then we're going to exhale, hands up behind you. So here we're going to change it up a bit. We're going to kind of do again some lunge, but probably high with the leg high. So inhaling, hands up above you. And then exhale, forward fold. And then here you're going to inhale, hands to shins, looking forward. Oh. Yeah. And then exhale back down. And then here you're going to either use your hands or no hands, bring your left leg back, and you're going to get into high lunge this time. So you don't need to do anything with your butt. You're just going to have to bring the hips forward. That's it. Hands up above you. So here you really want to have the heel up. Bring yourself forward. That's it. And then we're going to bring both hands down. We're going to get straight into down dog from here. So kind of into a plank. And then exhale. Downward dog, just one breath here. That's it. And then what we're going to do here is kind of do a bit of a ankle sort of stretch. So bringing the foot up, you're going to kind of tuck the foot towards your bum. So here, up to you how much open you want to get your hip, but just make sure if your hip is open, your shoulders are still pressing down. So here just sort of circling the foot about 5 times. And then the other way. Bit of balance here. And then exhale. Bringing the right foot down. And then next we bring the left foot up behind you. And then here you can do the same. So circling the foot. 1. It's kind of like a stretch too. So just remember which side you started on. Other side. So just circling the ankle. I'm going to call it a wrist, but it's an ankle. And then left foot's going to come forwards, right knee up, high lunge, hands up above you. And take a quick rest after this. And then bringing the right foot forwards, bring your hands back down by your side. What we're going to do here is bring the bum down. So your feet can be a little further apart. You're bringing your bum down. And then here you're going to get into Malasana. So here's like, like an old man smoking. And then elbows are going to sort of tuck into the sort of nookie knee part of your knee. And then hands up to your chest and you're going to face forwards. So this one's just like a really nice hip opener. So anytime you're sort of like sitting for a long time, this is just a nice one to do just because it like opens up the hips. And then here, if your feet, heels are raised, that's fine if they're raised, but otherwise just really just press the bum down. But your chest, instead of it being forward, you're going to really press it forwards. So it's kind of really forcing your spine to be straight. That's it. And then looking forwards. And then 3 more breaths here, so a bit of flexibility. And then if you want to, you can always close the eyes, and then if you remember your affirmation, you can always remember it here, I am enough. And then final breath, you're going to sort of gracefully place your butt on the mat or plump it down, whichever you feel is better. And then we're going to sort of work on boat pose. So here, what we're going to do is kind of bring ourselves like chest forwards. So yeah, you saw it. And then here your knees are down, so you can really sort of feel the gravity where your bum is, feels comfortable. And then you're going to sort of balance on your bum. So inhaling, feet up. And then here you can bring your hands just up to underneath like that nookie part of your knee, underneath the knee. And you're really going to press the chest towards your knees. So you can stay here if you want to really bring your feet up. Kind of imagine like your drink, your morning drink or green tea, smoothie, chai, whatever you want to do, alcoholic beverage on top of your knees, or your shins. So staying here, and then we're going to exhale, bringing the feet down, bringing just the hands underneath, sort of above, like about, hand part away from your bum. You're going to inhale and bring yourself, so We did this earlier, the tabletop position, but this is the opposite. So we're not staying here for long, just one breath. That's it, you got it. So it's quite heavy on the arms, and then exhale, come back down, preparing to balance on the bum, hands wherever you need to, either underneath the knees or by your side. Bring the feet up, boat pose. And then exhale, you're going to bring yourself back down. And then you bring your hands underneath. So sort of further away from your bum. And then you're going to press down and then bring your bum up. And then exhale back down. One more. Hands underneath the knees. Feet up. So here, I mean, obviously the closer you are, see, the bit more gentle, the further you go back, the more you'll feel in your core. This is more of a core one. And then exhale back down, hands underneath, and then you're going to inhale back to a bit of tabletop. So here, just neck, wherever feels more comfortable. Can have it all the way down, but slightly up to you. And feet down, and then here you're just going to give yourself a little hug, tuck your head in, give yourself a break. 2 more breaths. I've got a bit of like a pose in here that's like a bit challenging, so we'll just give it a try. So first we'll try it this way. So this one I've never taught like online, so we'll see. So you bring your feet out to the side. So essentially remember that sort of balancing feeling you got. So I don't know if you want to practice that sort of that feeling. So kind of get into crow pose. So you're going to do a sitting down crow pose. So essentially crow pose is this, but with your hands on the floor and your feet like pointing up. So you want to get that sort of position, or you can just hover, feet up, bring your elbows in front of your knees and sort of stay here. It looks really weird and it feels really weird, but this is essentially, if you do the pose, this is how we'll feel. So there's a lot of hip work, so we kind of worked on that, and there's a lot of like core strength. And then if you kind of come out of it, that's fine. But what you really want to find is that sort of point, knee is kind of above or just right on top of the elbow, or just sort of further down. It's kind of like this. Don't know if you can see. That's it. So you're going to try again. So sort of either you can get straight into it like this and point yourself back, or otherwise you can kind of hover, because this is obviously the first time you're doing it, and you kind of press the knees in towards yourself, and then elbows out, pointing them out. So it's kind of the opposite of the pose where we were like this, where the spine is nice and forwards. It's kind of like your back is rounded, but you're trying to press the chest down, elbows out. And I'll just see what you're up to, because I don't know how it's translating. Yeah, that's it. So where your hands are, you kind of imagine where the floor is. Yeah, that's it, you got it. That's it. And your feet don't have to be doing anything. Later on they can point. And then we'll try that again, but on our backs. Oops. Yep, hopefully that's still, can you still hear me? Yeah, okay. And then point down, and then we'll do the same, but on our lower back. So if you've got any like hair bands or anything, just move them out the way. And then you're gonna bring, so your spine is nice and long this time, so now you can kind of feel the back of the spine. You bring the knees right in. So it's really like, I mean, it's not a very ladylike pose, but who cares? So elbows in, and then you're gonna bring the knees really in, kind of as far as comfortable as it is, because it's essentially what's gonna happen. And the elbows point out. And then the elbows go above the knees, and you're pressing the knees back with your elbows. So it feels like this. And then you can point the feet, the toes, kind of, you know, like you're doing ballet, and then point the toes, and then you're gonna press. So here it's like what has happened is that there's the ceiling is on top of you and you're holding it up. So I'll just see how you're doing. So it's essentially this, but flat on your back. And that should help to sort of get the feeling of it. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So eventually, so this is a lot of upper body strength. So what we'll do is maybe you have like a cushion nearby. We'll try the proper way to do it. So what we'll do is do that 2 more times. So you're going to bring the elbows, the knees in. I keep calling knees elbows, it's really confusing. And then bring yourself up, roly-poly up. We're going to do that again. elbows to the side. So you can either stay here and really get like the elbows out. That's always a really good one. If you'd like to go further, you sort of balance. Knee to elbow, pressing it down. And then exhale, let that go. So we're kind of playing here, so don't take it too seriously. This is the thing with like really hard yoga poses. Everyone has these like goals of like splits or headstand. What's going to happen is once you can do the pose, you will move on to the next pose. So let's just enjoy it. And then next I'm going to lie down, whichever you feel more comfortable. This one I think is just a bit friendly. And then, yeah, knees in, elbows out. So elbows are kind of on top of the knees. I'm only saying to really put your knees really far down and your elbows out because that's just kind of how I can balance better, but everyone's body is different. So we'll see. And then exhale, knees in, give yourself a hug. You deserve it. You're making the time to take care of yourself and to try weird and wonderful poses. So you're going to bring yourself up. So we're going to try crow pose. So if you have any wrist injuries, this is not a pose you want to try. So I'm just giving you a quick warning. Yeah, I can see you guys, it just like stalled. So I'll come closer. So what you want to do here, you can see me better that way. You're going to sort of press, you can kind of see myself. So it's essentially, this is the pose. So you bring your feet down, your hands out. So this is why you want to have like a pillow. Funnily enough, I have one here. One of those Japanesey ones. So that just helps mentally because it's scary. And this is also why I'm doing it in this lesson, because it's like confidence, empowerment it is pushing yourself out of your comfort zone lovingly. So hands down. So obviously if you've got any wrist issues, just really listen to your own body. And this is how I prefer to do it. This took me ages. I also did it on the sand, which was really helpful because when you your face goes down, it doesn't hurt. So yeah, and you can always just, if you're on your mat, you're safe. So you can bring yourself up. So here you can bend the knees obviously. And then the feeling of it, what we're going to do is do it together. So this is, so I'll just show you quickly, this is the pose. But, that was really quick. But what we want to do is sort of bend the elbows down, bring the knees. So for me, I like to put my knees further up, like kind of just above the elbow. Don't know if you can see. That'll help. And then, but some people like to really like bring their knee out to the side more, and I have no idea how they do that. So you might find that that's better for you, and do whatever you can to make it good for your body, because there's no such thing as a pose for a body. There's lots of different bodies and a pose to try. So knees down, and what we're going to do here is kind of press ourselves down. That's all you're going to do, because that's actually really scary. And then bring yourself back. So I don't know if you can feel that pose in your body, how it was on the floor and on balancing on your butt. So bring your elbows, your bum up, face down, and that's all we're going to do. So if you really want to try this pose properly, go ahead. So how to do that is bring your sort of face down, one foot up. Maybe I'll show you with the other foot. Left foot up. And that's all you're going to do. And then right foot up. And then left foot up. And if you just practice this when you're doing crow pose, in Tokyo there's lots of crows, so hopefully you'll remember it. You can just keep doing this. And then if you want to balance, you really prepare yourself. I'm going to do it. And you bring one foot, left foot, balance, get back down if you need to. So this is not the easiest one to teach online, but I can't help you. That's it. And then just sort of looking forwards will help. That's it. That's it. That's it. Yeah, you got it. So right foot up, left foot up. And then if you want to stop, then you can. And then you can't even see my face anyway. So nice. Okay. And then here, that's it. So that's just the feeling of it. That was crow pose. I kind of just noticed that it was in this sequence. So I'm going to exhale down. Then here, we're just going to sort of stretch the wrists out because it's a lot of wrist work. elbows sort of loose, just stretch the hands out. And we're going to do a bit of a different wrist stretch. So you're going to bring the left hand out, make you like stop, and then right hand up above. And then you're going to bring, like, if you can actually include the thumb, then you might have to spread your fingers, but bring your hand back, or your fingers back towards your face. You have to go as far as I am, just whatever you can feel the stretch. And then exhale back down. And then inhale, doing that again, coming up. And exhale back down. We'll do that on the other side. So I'm on my left hand, whichever hand you're on, I'm going to go the opposite. So I'm on my right hand now, so we're going to press fingertips back towards your face. And then you're going to exhale down. And here as well you might find, oh, my left wrist I can't feel anything. My right hand I do. So kind of notice how your body's feeling. And do that one more time. So exhaling down. And then inhaling up. And then just shake the hands out. And we'll just do what the one we did earlier. So we're going to close so like power to the people, and then inhale, big, jazz hands. And then inhaling, wrists, that's it. Gu, and then pa, and then hands up, open, fingertips open. And then we'll do about 2 more times. So you can go a bit quicker now. So what you really want to feel is the sort of thumb coming down, the little finger coming down, then 2 more. And like I said, whenever, do this on the toilet. If you got the time. And then let go of those hands, let go of the shoulders. So you try the pose. This is a really weird, difficult pose. I tried to do this when I had like this yoga book, so it's kind of nice to be shown how to do it. There's lots of different ways to do it, and then whatever, it's just a pose. And then we're going to exhale, bring yourself back, lower your back down, and give yourself a hug, saying well done for trying, well done for doing it. And then we're going to exhale, bringing both knees out to the left side, and then right hand out to the side. So here, if you've got any lower back issues, you can always bring your knees higher. If they're okay, just bring them nice and low. You're going to look towards that right hand. And staying here for about 3 more breaths. Take a quick drink. Last breath here. We're going to inhale, come back to center. We're going to prepare to the other side. So both knees down to the right. You can have them as high as you need to. Left hand out to the side. I have them higher up when I've got like back niggles, like lower back, but otherwise have them where it feels comfortable. And then 3 more deep breaths here. I'm going to inhale, staying exactly where you are, last breath here. And then both knees in, give yourself a bit of a hug. And then we're going to finally get into our final resting pose. So both feet down, hands by your side, and then here, literally all you have to do is lie here. So this is corpse pose, Shavasana. It's like adult approved nap time. But actually you're not supposed to sleep. You're not supposed to think. And you're not supposed to move. So it's actually quite a hard pose. So let's just focus first on any last like movements you need to do. Any sort of, if you've got pillows nearby and you've got a bit of low back thing going on, you can always bring your feet in and sort of butterfly the knees out and kind of put a pillow underneath each knee. Otherwise, just let your feet spread out straight. And your hands, the palms are facing up. And next, just see how your body feels. Did a lot of movement. It was pretty gentle to start with, and then obviously crow pose is quite intense. And then here, just repeating your affirmation from earlier, if you've chosen one for yourself. You can repeat that now. Otherwise, repeating, I am enough. And then letting your forehead, if you've got any tension there or in the jaw, just let that go, let yourself relax. Any tension in the eyes, in the neck, the shoulders, you can relax. And relaxing your arms, your wrists, your hands. And relaxing your heart, chest. And relaxing the stomach, the hips, your legs. Letting go of any tension in your feet and your toes. slowly coming back into your body, come back into the space. You can move your fingertips and your toes, wiggle them around. And then we're going to inhale, bring both knees in towards your chest, give yourself one last hug. Saying thank you to your body, thank you for yourself, for moving, for doing yoga, for breathing, for being enough. And then you can either come to the left or the right side of the mat, whichever's most comfortable for you. And we're just staying here for one breath. Kind of like in a fetal position. And then using your hand, you're going to come back up. And then just sit back up, comfortable position, seated position. And then hands by your side, just closing the eyes. Relax the shoulders, relax the stomach. And then I'm going to inhale, hands up above you. And then bringing both hands in towards your chest today. Remembering the affirmation, I am enough, or whichever one you chose for yourselves today. And hope you enjoyed this, hope you feel good, hope you feel calmer, hope you feel a little stronger. Thank you so much. Arigatou gozaimashita. Thank you. Don't know if my speaker's still on. No, it's not.
Thank you.
Oh, it is on. Hi. Ooh. Look.
Yeah, thank you